Hi everyone. This is my very first screencast. I'm a little bit nervous, but many thanks to Shannon for her screencast about making screencasts. Hopefully this will be the first of many screencasts that will help you to implement blended learning in your classrooms. I'm pretty excited about it. So today we're going to talk about IXL and how you can get started with IXL in your classrooms. So returning teachers have done this already. Some of you who are new have also done this just because you're awesome. But I want to make sure we have all the information that you need about setting up your classes and getting going with IXL in one place. There will be further instruction and training and screencasts about using reports from IXL to drive your planning and instruction in the future. But for today, we're just going to talk about setup. So each of you should have received an email that looks like this. If you did not receive an email like this, please let me know so that I can make sure that you are all set. I'm just going to go through the steps of setting up a class from this email, and then I'm going to show you sort of what the experience will look like for students and just how to get them started on IXL. So this email tells me to click here so that I can set up my account. So we're just going to let that load really quick. And it tells me my username, which has been set up for all of you. Please note that it says @alpha. If you are signing in from just IXL.com, you're going to have to put @alpha. The sign-in page that I have put on each of your class pages is our alpha sign-in page, so all you need to put is your username, everything before @alpha. Same goes for students. If they just go to IXL.com and they just put in their username without the @alpha, it's not going to work. If they are on their alpha page, which is linked from their class page, then they just have to put in their first name, last name. Alright, I'm going to put in a password. You can choose whatever password you would like, and then submit, and continue. You will be automatically prompted as soon as you set up your account to set up your roster. So I'm going to click go to my roster. And I am pretending right now that I am a 7th or 8th grade teacher because there's an extra step for you guys, and that is to create classes. So you're going to use this link right here because you're going to want a class for your homeroom and for your non-homeroom. So I'm going to create a class. I'm just going to call them Test 1 and Test 2. You will call them Northwestern and Santa Clara, or who else is together? Clark, Atlanta, and Pepperdine, whatever you need. So now I have this class option right here. So I'm going to just put 2 students in 2 separate classes, 2 test students that I've created. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different for you when you put in all 38 or 79 of your students, but just run with me. So in my Test 1 class, I'm going to put in Test Student. And in my Test 2 class, I'm going to put in Testy Student, which is the other test student I set up. That student's a little testy sometimes. And then as soon as I have put in all of my students in both of my classes, and again they should just pop up just like you saw they just did. It's not going to do it again because I already selected them, but they'll just pop up quickly. You can select them. This should only take you a couple of minutes to just fill in all of your students. And when I'm done, I'll save. Apparently it saves automatically, so that is good. Alright, so that's how you set up your roster. As soon as you do that, all these students are connected to you in IXL. If you are trying to put a student in and they do not pop up, please let me know as soon as possible. It has been so crazy trying to keep track of all the new students that have come in and all the ways that rosters have changed. So if you have a student that is new to Alpha, not just new to your class, and they don't pop up when you are filling in your roster, please just let me know as soon as possible. Alright, so once you have your roster set up, you're ready to start your students using IXL. So I'm just going to click on this Math tab here, and you'll see that there are lots of different skills that students can practice using IXL. I would suggest that you use this search bar. Let's say that I want to teach my students, or I want them to practice adding fractions with a like denominator. So I'm going to start putting in add fractions. And you'll see that tons of different options come up. You might want to go through some of these and try them out and see which one fits the best with your lesson plan. Also, please keep in mind that I will be working over the next couple of months to make sure that we have some alignment between College Prep Math and IXL. So I'm going to set up a whole spreadsheet full of options. So when you are looking at a certain College Prep Math lesson, you can look at my spreadsheet and see, oh, all of these IXL skills align with that lesson. I'm going to assign those for my students. So that is forthcoming. But let's say I decide that I want to assign the add and subtract fractions with like denominators for 6th grade. So I'm going to choose this, and I see this beautiful problem. So there is no way for you to assign these skills within the program. So what you need to do is just communicate in the classroom which skills you want your students to use or to practice during class. So that may mean that you just put this code on the board and have students find it through the search bar. Or it may mean that you just link to a specific skill on your class page, which I would suggest. So I'm going to come to a class page. That is not the right thing, sorry. Let's go to Blanca Alvarado's site. And I'm going to go to Ms. Cahill's class because I just happened to put this on her class page. And you will all have a link that looks like this, sign into IXL, on your page in a few minutes after I finish the screencast. So students can use this to sign in. My suggestion is that you put afterwards, after the sign in link, the skill that you would like students to work on. So here I put M.3, which is the same skill except for 5th grade. I just happened to put that one instead. You can put any skill you would like and just link it. But please make sure that your students first sign in and then they click on the skill or find the skill that you would like them to practice. So I'm going to click here as if I was a student. I'm just going to sign in as myself, but your students will sign in as themselves. And then they can search for the skill they would like, or they can come back to the class page and click on the skill that you have assigned to them. So if they just click on the skill without signing in, it will take them to this page. It will look just like this, and they'll try to do the problem, and they'll keep going, and their score will go up, and all these things will change over here, but it will not record it under their name, obviously, because they're not signed in. So that is a problem that happened a lot in my classroom last year, so I just wanted to alert you of that. There will be a login bar up here if they do click on this skill page without signing in first, and they can sign in there when they get there. Anyway, the point of all of this is make sure the students are logged in when they're practicing, otherwise it won't keep track of their progress, and they're going to be pretty bummed about that. So students will work on each problem. The goal that we have at Alpha right now is that students to master a skill have this SMART score at least 80. Last year I challenged my students to get it up past 80, but you can decide in your classroom. Also, they should attempt at least 20 problems to get that score up to 80. These two numbers are going to help you as you are moving around the classroom, helping students with IXL, or as you're looking at reports later to see if they were on task and sort of how their experience was. Because if they've attempted a ton of problems and they still have a low SMART score, that's a problem. They're just guessing. They have no idea what they're doing, probably. So let's say that I'm answering this question and I think it's 8/10. It told me that I'm incorrect. So please make sure that your students know that if they get a problem incorrect, there will be an explanation. Last year my students just whizzed past the explanation, guessed on the next one. That's not very helpful. So please let them know that they can scroll down and they can see why they got that problem incorrect. Then they can click got it and go on to the next problem. When they get a problem correct, let's hope I get it right, it will just tell them wonderful, brilliant, terrific, and their SMART score will go up and they will be able to continue working. So this SMART score changes whether they get it right or wrong. Also, the questions adapt. So if they get a problem correct, the next problem will be a little harder. If they get that problem wrong, they might have to go back to a little bit easier question. And students just continue to work through this. I suggest that you link to a couple of different skills, just because you will have some students that will be able to master them quickly. And you can explore all different kinds of skills in this search bar to find related skills that maybe are a bit more advanced for your high flyers, or perhaps to find some lower grade level skills that are related to help those who are struggling a bit. So, if you would like to see reports about how your students are doing, you're just going to click on this reports tab right here. And there are tons of different things in here that you should definitely explore. In the future, near future, I'm going to be providing a lot more guidance and training about using these different reports and kind of point you to the metrics that are the most useful and how we can use that data to drive instruction and group students and personalized learning. So that is forthcoming. For now, I just suggest that you start exploring these different reports and see what you can pull out, and there will be much more coming about that. So that should get you all set up on IXL. Just a note that I'm going to go to your Teacher Tech Tools page, if it will load. And on IXL, all of this is written out on that page. So basically everything I said. So you can always come back here. I also wanted to point out that student usernames are first name, last name, no spaces or dots. That's just how IXL has it set up. Only option is to not have any spaces or dots, or and signs, or at signs. So it just has to be just like that. And their password is their 8-digit birthday. Please note that if the student has a 2 in their email address, they'll also have a 2 in their IXL login. So it's basically the beginning of their email address before the @ symbol without any dots. So if students have trouble logging in, please let me know, but only after you have double checked that they have followed this pattern, because this should be consistent across every classroom. So that is the end of my first screencast. I feel like it was pretty successful. Please let me know the questions that you have, and hopefully we can get IXL up and running. Thanks so much, guys.